almost around 1.5 years back, we unregistered ourselves from Germany and we moved to Romania so that we could start our own private limiteds there. Because starting your own company in Romania is much easier. There's a lot less hassle, a lot less paperwork, a lot less bureaucratic stuff that you have to handle than doing the exact same things in Germany. So we were like, okay, we don't want to spend like hundreds of thousands of euros in these kind of things over the span of a few years on lawyers, on tax consultants, on talking to the tax authorities and things like that. So we're like, okay, it makes sense to now leave so that we can live our best life. And that's exactly what we had been doing since, pretty much 2021. So almost last year at the exact same time, this is June, so we were in Denmark. And right now we are again in Denmark. But last year from Denmark we went to Norway, then afterwards we went to Germany, we went to Romania, in between we went to Czech Republic, then Romania, then afterwards we spent a nice time in Turkey. In all of these things that we have been doing, like all of this traveling around and stuff, the one thing that we realized and we always kept a rule of is never spend anywhere more than 90 days, because as soon as you're spending more than 90 days in any single country, you're very quickly going to become a tax liable citizen there. So this is not a nice thing because you don't want to be tax liable in different kind of countries. So always keep it shorter than 90 days. And that also then counts as tourism. So you can just travel around wherever you want and you can do whatever you have to, but you don't have to register yourself and start paying taxes in that country. So I mean, it is not like all rosy, because for many people, they can't even think about moving from place to place every 80 days, every, even 70, 80 days or something. And for us, this was a very nice experience because we get to spend around two and a half months in each country, and then afterwards we move ahead. So then from Turkey we went to Romania, then afterwards we again went to Germany, then we went to Denmark, and then afterwards we started the same story again. We went to Turkey again through this entire cycle. So we have gone to Turkey now 2 times. Once we went in October 2021, and then afterwards we went this time in April, and we spent a nice 1.5 months there. The goal behind all of this was that to find a country where everything fits together perfectly fine, where the taxes are good, where we have good healthcare, where we have essentially safety of life, because that's very important. And this is the reason we are not even discussing about going to US or something, because that is the one place where I personally don't think I would feel safe. And Alina, she was an exchange student there in US for a year, and the horror stories that she has to tell me, it's not so nice. So, yeah, it's great to travel around and stuff, maybe, but not something which you can think about as a long-term place. So we were doing all of these experiments to see which country fits the best for us. And in every single country where we go to, we try to speak to the business owners there, we try to speak to the tax consultants, and we see what works out for us. Now, of course, many of you might ask, what is the problem with Germany? So Germany is really great for employees and for students, but as soon as you become a business owner, there is a lot of hassle that you have to deal with. For example, right now, so even though I unregistered myself 1.5 years ago, I have told every single, organization which was supposed to send me letters that we are essentially not living there anymore. But we still get some kind of letters from the Finanzamt, from some of these Berufsgenossenschaft, this is an employees association, about things that we still have to submit or something, which they don't understand that, hey, guys, we are not there anymore. We are already not living in Germany. We don't have anything to do with that. So Germany is essentially one place where we always go back and forth on. We're okay, do we want to go back to Germany and register ourselves? But then as soon as we get some kind of letters, we are okay, this does not really make sense. And we understand the reason why we left in the first place, because first of all, if you really want to grow your business in Germany, you need to have a lot of money so that you can hire good tax consultants and you can hire good lawyers. If you don't have access to these 2 things, your business plateaus very quickly, because a lot of the money that you're generating goes inside taxes, of course, and into your tax consultants and into the lawyers. So that's why Germany was really not one of the plans that we were having. Now, in all of this, one very interesting thing that I was able to do was also carry over my depot to Romania without any kind of problems at all. So my depot is with Scalable Capital, and I had around I think 100,000 euros at that time in Scalable Capital. So I was like, okay, this is going to suck really bad if I have to sell everything now and then take the cash, and then afterwards take the cash to Romania, pay taxes on all of that in Germany, and then again, like, you know, have a lot of losses, things like that, and then like start everything again in Romania. So the best thing with Scalable Capital was that as long as I'm in any of the EU countries which supports the SEPA mandate, it's not a problem at all. I can go to any of the countries and I can still keep my depot with Scalable Capital. This means it's going to be very easy for me to now, if you decide to move to Portugal, if you decide to move to Spain or like, you know, Sweden, things like that, I think it is still going to be very interesting and not a big problem at all. So far, like with Romania, I don't have any kind of problem. So in case you are thinking about moving to any country, you know that opening your depot with Scalable Capital is a much better option. So these are the countries that we've visited so far. We've also been to Norway and so on. But like a few countries which are still on our mind is definitely Portugal. We have heard a lot of nice things about Portugal. Alina has been there, and the real estate and stuff also seems decently priced. The issue that I find with Germany is that real estate is again like absolutely insane. Norway also, real estate is absolutely crazy. Real estate is a little bit better in Sweden and much better in Denmark. But as soon as you are essentially like, you know, getting the lure of Denmark and you buy a house here, you are suddenly kind of faced with the tax rates here. So we are living on the island of Ero, and here if you would take a look at the maximum tax rate that you would be paying, it goes up to 58%, which is absolutely ridiculous. So how do you justify paying more money to the government than yourself, because you were the one who put all the efforts inside. You were the one who was working throughout the week, who were working on the weekends, at nights, in the mornings, who was sacrificing time with your family. So what justifies that? Absolutely nothing. So any of the countries where like we are essentially paying such higher taxes, that is like really out of the question for us. So like Denmark is essentially not such a great place to live if you're thinking about taxes. If you're talking about quality of life and stuff, I think it's very interesting. I think this is one of the countries that you can definitely consider. But at the same time, you can then also think about Germany, like going towards some kind of suburban areas. There you also have a lot more facilities, and needless to mention the Amazon Germany. Because Amazon Germany, you can get such, like, you're almost used to getting packages the next day and like delivered as fast as possible. But when you are delivering anything to other countries, for example, Denmark, when we order from Amazon Germany, because that's the only option that we have, it takes at least a week, and it takes at least 10 euros extra, sometimes even more, to order something. And this is when you already have the Prime membership and things like that, because you're essentially like, you know, crossing borders into the area where Amazon Germany is still not delivering. So I think that's also one more thing that you have to watch out for. And also in Denmark, accessing healthcare and stuff is a lot more difficult if you're not registered in the system, because look, we are in Denmark mostly as tourists. Alina has her business here, which is the Airbnb, but we don't stay in Denmark when we do not have any kind of business there, and we also do not stay more than 90 days. So in these kind of scenarios, if you have to go to the doctor or something, it becomes very, very difficult to get some kind of proper healthcare in those kind of scenarios. So also you have to pay then privately, and that is also more expensive. I've paid 70 euros for a consultation. For dentists, I paid 200 euros. So the prices are like really, really high if you would talk about that generally. Yeah, so I mean, this is the reason like why we have been traveling so much, because I know many of you have been seeing us travel around, like making videos from all sorts of different places. But our motivation was to finally find a place where we can settle down and kind of like, you know, think about a family and everything. But I think it's just so difficult with all of the expectations you have. Like if you want to think about taxes, you want to think about security, and you want to think about the general, like, you know, quality of life and stuff. I think like finding these three things in one single place without compromising too much on one on the other is very, very difficult. Romania also is not really that safe. I mean, I don't consider it that safe. Also, my experience is, at least like living in Bucharest and stuff, is mixed, to say the best. You have all of the amenities that you need, but it's just like too many people in one city where there are like still fewer resources. So Bucharest many times reminds me of New Delhi, because that also used to be absolutely crazy. The traffic used to be crazy. I've never come across actually worse traffic anywhere else other than Bucharest. Even not in Turkey. I think like even in Turkey the traffic was way better than what I've seen in Bucharest. But whoever is from Romania or whoever is from Bucharest, man, I don't know how you guys drive there, but if you were driving there, respect, because it's not easy to do that. So that's pretty much a video that I wanted to make, because I'm still not sure. Maybe you guys have some kind of ideas. Maybe you're watching from different kind of countries, you're coming from different kind of countries. Many of you have a business background. So if you have that, like, tell me a little bit about your country. I would be really happy to hear that. I mean, especially I think Portugal and stuff, Portugal, Switzerland, Italy, I think all of these are super interesting countries for us right now, and we're definitely like looking forward to going there, spending some more time there, because Portugal is on our agenda, Italy is on our agenda for spring. So we are going to like travel around a little bit more, talk to a little bit more people, and then slowly decide, you know, where does it make sense? What is the best place for business owners to live in Europe, or do we just continue this lifestyle of living as digital nomads and not having any kind of place to stay? Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye. And don't forget, I'm still waiting for your opinions, your suggestions in the comment section below.